everyone, and welcome to my channel. Here at KrystalElaineTV, we are a lifestyle channel that is dedicated to inspiring one another to living the best life and the blessed life that God has called us to live. So if you are into home organization, home decor, cooking, cleaning, decluttering, and other lifestyle topics like that, then definitely make sure you subscribe and join the family here at KrystalElaineTV. And today's video is going to be a life story video, and I'm planning to do a series of these on my channel around different topics. But today's story is going to be all about my weight loss journey. The process I went through to lose over 120 pounds over the course of about 18 months. And the way I actually went about finally losing all of this weight is not something that I have really shared publicly outside of my very immediate family and close inner circle for a number of different reasons, which I will talk a little bit more about later on in the video. But over the last few months, I have felt a prompting from the Holy Spirit to really just share my testimony and allow it to be an inspiration and a motivation to other people. And so that's really my goal and my desire and my heart for this video, is that you will take something away from it that can help you on your personal journey. And I just really hope that it helps you. So with all that being said, let's get right onto the story. So like many other people, I know that this is not unique to me. I struggled with my weight for a majority of my life, ever since I can remember, as far back as I can remember. Even in my adolescence and my childhood, I remember struggling with my weight. Just in elementary school and middle school, always being overweight, heavy set, feeling like even if it wasn't true, I felt like I was the biggest kid in my class, boy or girl. I felt like people were always looking at me and judging me and talking about me because of my weight. And it was something that I was just really self-conscious about because I was heavy set as a kid. Growing up, you know, through that period in my life, a lot of people, they would tell me, oh, it's just baby fat. Oh, you'll grow out of it. Not a big deal. And so that's just what it was as a kid, right? We chalked it up to baby fat, and that was the end of it. And so then kind of coming out of middle school and transitioning into more of my teenage years and high school and being around older kids as a teenager, I continued to gain weight in high school and continued to you know, be bigger. I don't think that I gained a whole lot of weight over the course of my high school years, but I just remember still being larger than my peers, and I was significantly larger than them, noticeably larger than them, to the point where a lot of my friends would shop in the junior section, right? That was normal for a teenager to go to the department store and go to the junior section. Well, I couldn't fit the clothes in the junior section. I was way above a size 13. I was definitely in Mrs. and women's size clothes as a teenager. And so I knew that there was definitely a gap there, and I was really self-conscious about that. So fast forward through the first part of high school, as an underclassman and even as a junior, you know, that was just how I felt about myself, and that was the reality of the situation. And then the summer between my junior year and my senior year, I went on my very first diet. And I did the Slim Fast diet, and it worked really well for me. Because I was so young, I was still a kid, the weight dropped right off of me over the course of the summer. I don't even think I started exercising over the summer. I just did the diet and the weight fell right off. So I go back into my senior year, I'm feeling confident, I'm feeling great. No, I still wasn't a size 0, a size 2. I wasn't skinny, but I had significantly slimmed down, and I felt way better about myself, and I wasn't so self-conscious about my weight. I was actually in the junior section of clothes. I was the biggest number. I think I was like a size 13, but I could get in them. And so for me, that was an accomplishment, and that gave me the confidence that I needed to just feel better about myself, become more active. I joined the track team, so I sprinted for one season of track in high school, and I just felt way better about myself. And so that was the end of high school, ended on a relatively positive note when you talk about it from kind of my weight and health perspective. So I go on to college, I went away to school, and same thing. I pretty much maintained my weight as a college student. I gained a few pounds, I think, but nothing abnormal for most college students. I think a lot of college students go off to school and they gain a little bit of weight just, you know, having a good time with their friends and eating out and eating cafeteria food and all that kind of thing. But I was also really, really active in college. I lived on campus, so I was walking to and from class all the time, all my activities. I studied karate, and so that kept me active several times a week. So I think it all kind of balanced out, and I didn't really have a noticeable weight gain throughout my college years. So then fast forward to graduation, and now I'm starting my professional career. I went straight into my professional career out of college. And so I'm going from being in class and walking between buildings all day long and being in karate and being super active to sitting behind a desk for 10 to 12 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, and not really exercising, at least not consistently, and eating all manners of foolishness. When I first started my career, I was traveling a lot, and so, you know, when you're traveling on the company's dime, you're eating on the company's dime. And so if I wanted an appetizer and dessert with my dinner, then that's exactly what I got. And so, you know, we would be going to Starbucks and be going out for snacks. We could have whatever we wanted. And so that's what I was doing. And like I said, there was times when I would work out, but I wasn't consistent with my fitness. And so I started to gain weight as I was starting out my professional career. And it wasn't a rapid weight gain. It wasn't something that I could see for myself. I saw myself in the mirror every day, and so I didn't notice physically looking at myself the weight gain. And I do think though that there was a part of me that recognized that something was changing, that I was gaining weight, that when I would go to the store, I'm realizing, you know what, last winter I wore this size, this winter I'm having to get this size to be comfortable. So that's when I would notice it, but I wasn't noticing it on a regular basis. And even though it was in my subconscious, I didn't own a scale intentionally, I think. And so I didn't step on the scale to see how much I weighed. There were years where I actually didn't know how much I weighed because I just avoided it. And so once I started actually realizing when I was having to buy larger clothes and that sort of thing that I was gaining some weight, I decided to do something about it. And so this was before I reached my heaviest, but I started to go on and try different diets. So I did try Weight Watchers, the online version, and that worked really well for me. I don't remember exactly how much weight I lost, but I do remember losing weight. But I think I got bored with it, and I just kind of didn't stick with it after several months. And so once I put that to the side, I gained all that weight back, and so that was it. And then I also tried the Nutrisystem diet, and that actually worked really, really well for me. I distinctly remember losing 30 pounds, and I remember that because once I hit that 30-pound mark, people were commenting on my weight loss and asking me if I had been losing weight and what was I doing, because I lose my weight first in this area, in my face, in my chest, in my neck. And so my coworkers, my friends, my family, they were asking me, what are you doing? You're losing weight, you look great. And so that was a real confidence booster for me. So you would think that that would be what I needed, but I just didn't stick with it. I remember after I had done all that work to lose those 30 pounds, going on a couple of business trips back to back, and the beauty of Nutrisystem is that a lot of the foods that come with it are non-perishable, and you just stick it in the microwave and then eat it. And so theoretically, you could take it on a trip with you and be able to stick to the diet. And so I would go through the motions of that, right? I would pack the food, the Nutrisystem food, and take it with me on my business trips, but then everybody else was going to Starbucks for breakfast and I wanted to go too. And then they would go out for sushi for lunch, and so I wanted sushi too. And then they would go out to get a wonderful steak dinner because it was on the company dime, so why not, right? And I didn't want to be left out of that, so I continued to do that. I wasn't paying attention to what I was eating. I wasn't consistently working out, especially when I was traveling. And I just kind of let things get out of control. And so that's really, after those business trips, I remember that being the point when I really started to experience some rapid weight gain and some significant weight gain. Looking back now, can reflect on the fact that I was also going through a lot of things in my personal life at that time. Just kind of dealing with things from a social perspective. I was living in Chicago, which I'm from St. Louis, but I had moved to Chicago for my career, and I wasn't really making a lot of friends. I had been there for several years, and it just never really felt like home, and I was really homesick. So I was dealing with that from a social perspective, and then I had also dealt with kind of a rough breakup. And then all of that on the personal side, but then my professional career as well, just having a really stressful job and trying to be competitive and making sure I was getting promoted and getting certified and working all kinds of overtime and things like that. It was just a really, really stressful and busy time for me. And so I think I was really comforting myself with food. I can remember there would be nights when I would get off of work and I wasn't looking forward to watching TV. I wasn't looking forward to going to bed and getting rest for the next day. No, I was looking forward to swinging by McDonald's and getting my dinner, and then swinging by Dairy Queen and getting ice cream for dessert, and going and sitting at home on the couch and eating that. That was what made me feel better. That was my escape. That was my safe place. That's what, in my mind, was comforting me. So I see that now. I don't think I realized it at the time, or I wasn't accepting it at the time, but looking back, I really think that contributed a lot to my weight gain during that season of my life. So eventually I did end up moving back to St. Louis. I was still gaining weight. When I moved back to St. Louis, I actually gained even more weight, and I think part of that was because I was back with my friends, I was back with my family, so my social life really increased. So I was going out to eat more, hanging out more, and just eating more, and still not consistently working out. And so my diet had taken a really bad decline, as well as my fitness life. So at my highest weight, I was 284 pounds. And I am about 5'6.5", 5'7". I was considered morbidly obese. My BMI was well over 40 at the time. I was just really unhealthy and just really self-conscious and not happy with myself. And so, like I said before, the way I went about losing the weight is not something that I've shared publicly, but I'm ready to do that now with you. And that was through bariatric surgery. Because of some complications with my insurance, it took me somewhere between 8 months and a year from my initial consultation until I was actually approved and able to have my surgery. But it was in April of 2015, about 1 week after my 30th birthday, is when I had my surgery. And the surgery that we decided on that would be best for me was the lap band surgery. And so that's how I achieved my weight loss goal. And in layman's terms, lap band surgery is essentially a procedure where the surgeon will go into your abdomen laparoscopically, and so it's minimally invasive, but they go in through some tiny incisions in your abdomen, and they insert a silicone band around the top of your stomach. And a few things to note about the band. One, the purpose of the band is that it restricts the amount of food that you're able to intake at any given time. So it only allows you to eat up to like 3/4 to 1 cup of food in one time every few hours. So it really limits how much food you can eat, as well as the types of food you can eat. So you can't eat like rice and a lot of breads and things like that. So it really kind of alters how much you can eat and the types of food you can eat. But the other thing to note about it is that it's completely adjustable and it's completely reversible. So if there were to be any complications with it, I would be able to have it adjusted or have it removed if need be. Thank God I haven't had any major complications, and it's been wildly successful for me, but that was what I needed. That is what helped me achieve my goals. And so they went in, did the surgery, put the band in, had it adjusted over the course of several months to get it to the restriction that was good for me for weight loss, and then adjusted again once I reached my goal to just maintain my weight. And so that's really what I did. And part of why I have hesitated to share that part of my weight loss journey specifically around this surgery is part of me felt like, is that cheating? Am I cheating that I had surgery, that I had this assistance? There's other people that struggle with their weight. You know, either they're able to miraculously lose the weight without surgery, or they're not able to get the surgery and so they just keep the weight, or whatever the case may be. But I honestly carried a sense of guilt and shame during a season of my life after I had achieved the weight loss, just from the perspective of, there's other people out there that probably need the same help and they couldn't get it. So I kept it to myself. I was ashamed. I didn't want to tell it. I didn't want to tell anybody. I didn't want people to know how I had done it. People ask me, how'd you do it? How'd you lose all that weight? I would just say, oh, I completely transformed my life. I completely changed the way I eat, and now I exercise. And that was my answer. But the Holy Spirit really touched my heart to say, you know what? Your story is a testimony and it can help someone else. And if I can reach one person out there that is struggling and knows that they need help too, that's what I want to do. That's my heart. This has not been an easy journey. Yes, I had the surgery, and yes, that's what helped me. That's what propelled me to lose the weight. But the process of getting there was still a challenge. I had to completely change how much and what I eat. It's not a magical pill, right, that changes your outlook and your willpower. You still have to control that, but the lap band just assists you in that process. And so knowing that I've still had to make the right decisions, I've still had to make lifestyle changes in order to work with the surgery and have it work for me, that's also given me peace about sharing this part of my story. And I realized I really didn't cheat. This wasn't a shortcut. It wasn't a magical pill that helped me lose this weight. It was a tool. It was a conduit to get me to the ended goal and to where I needed to be. But I've still had to put in the work, and it's still been a challenge in terms of altering the way I eat, how much I eat, when I can eat, where I can eat, the types of foods that I can eat. All of that has completely changed, and I have to make those right decisions every single day in order to make the surgery work for me. You know, there are times where, you know, I do slip up and I might eat something that I'm not supposed to, or I might eat too much or eat too fast and I get sick, or I can't swallow and it comes back up, right? That might be TMI, but it's honest. It's what happens if you're not careful. So I say all that to say that I had to accept for myself that this wasn't a shortcut. I didn't cheat. I still had to put in the work. And so because of that, why should I be ashamed to share my story, especially if it can help somebody? So why do I share all of this? Why am I sharing my weight loss journey with all of you, even though up until now I've been ashamed and felt a sense of guilt about my weight loss success? I share it because I know that I am called to help people. That is my purpose. That is the calling that God has put on my life. And so if I can help someone by sharing my story, sharing my success, sharing the things that I've learned throughout this process, then that's absolutely what I want to do. Know and just be encouraged that if you need help in your weight loss journey, if you need assistance to get yourself over that plateau, over that hill that you're having trouble climbing, reach out and get that help. You may or may not be able to get surgery. That may or may not be the best option for you in your financial situation or your health situation or whatever the case may be. But talk to your doctor. If you're serious about it, you can do it. Talk to your doctor. Find a nutritionist. Find a personal trainer. Somebody with professional expertise that can help you. The biggest lesson learned out of my entire weight loss journey is to recognize when I needed help and to get that help. It took me years to realize I needed help. It took me years to realize it was even a thing to need help in a weight loss journey. I thought diet, exercise, lose weight. That's the formula, right? That didn't work for me, for my specific situation. That doesn't work for everybody. So my advice to you, my encouragement to you is get help, seek help. Again, surgery might not be the answer for you. It might not be feasible for you, but know that there is a way. God will make a way when it seems like there is no way. So just take that, know that you're not alone, know that God's got you, know that I'm here for you. And if you have any questions about my journey, how I went through the process and was able to achieve this success, If there's any tips or tricks that you want to know from me, definitely leave a comment down below and I would be happy to share more. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. It'll really help me out. And I really appreciate those of you that stuck around to the end with me. I hope that you got something out of this video that will help motivate you and inspire you along your weight loss journey or any other journey that you are on in this season of your life. With all that being said, thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.